What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Silver the Hedgehog here. Welcome to the Maxi Toys. God dang it, Silver, turn that TV off right now. You have no idea what it will almost cost us at copyright claims. Oh, sorry about that, Shadow. I just simply can't help it for myself about the actual introduction videos and all that stuff that we need to catch up on. But that does not mean a thing that we might actually steal it from someone else. Not to mention though, because of how the fact that we were part of the different companies and all that stuff, you know? Yeah, I know. Especially because of how, that Christmas is yet again time once again. Yep, and I'm finally now onto the Christmas videos at this point right now. Well, at least one of them right now. Yeah, especially noticeable how the fact that lucky for you, that you and Sonic is actually in love for about 9 years or so. Yeah, which is kind of like quite larger in comparison to our relationships or something like that. I don't know of how many things I can able to must confess, but at least I'm quite big compared to you, guys. Yeah, I know. Especially noticeable how you two are the birds, of course. Yeah, I know that. Even then, me and Joel were able to look after each other, didn't we? Yeah, I know, Blue. Even though I do really still love you as always, so. Yeah, it looks like the Christmas time is about to come once again, so even then, yeah, it's actually pretty quick, kind of think about it. And plus, we almost nearly towards the end of, not only 2019, but also, partner, is the fact that we've almost nearly towards the end of the forms of the 2010s era. Well, despite the fact that our TV series, the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic TV series, is now being officially over and finished, which is kind of sad, but on the other hand though, Rainbow Dash, we seriously got screwed over on the forms of the pony lifestyle. Yeah, because I think that Friendship is Magic show is even way better than the forms of that cheapy style of ponies. No offense, but you get the point. Well, at least I agree to you for this point, Shadow. At least I agree to you. There we go. So it looks like the Christmas tree is basically complete with all these decorating and everything. So yeah, I think we should be all settled for the Christmas video once again. So I'm also able to check on the others. Hey guys, I managed to decorate the Christmas tree once again and also decorate some parts of our room at the moment. And what on earth you two are arguing about over there? Oh, it's nothing, obviously, White Teddy, but even then though, are you always there for every single year at this point? I think it's pretty obvious, Sylvester, because he's always, or she rather, showed up in every single Christmas videos. Well, the only time exception is 2012 because you, on the other hand, were somewhat throwed up, didn't you? Oh yeah, that's right. Because I was expecting if I was gonna able to prepared for the sake of the Forms of 2012 video, but unfortunately for you though, you just got a bit of a stomach ache. Oh, you didn't tell me that, Mario. You have not told me about this. Well, obviously you won't join with us up until 2016 or something. Oh yeah, because of, well, we're trying to force White Teddy to, well, join in the video, and I'm just like, well, I'm quite disappointed to see how the fact that White Teddy is not going to be involved. Yeah, but that's entirely different story because of my behaviors acting so odd lately. Yeah, I know, especially when you're trying to almost ruin the Christmas spirit and all that stuff just for the sake of our channel. In fact, for you, Tiana, this might be your first time joining in with the actual Christmas video at long last. Yeah, because I've been waiting for that for so long, ever since I did ask for that, since 2018. Yeah, I know, which in this case though, you've now finally managed to get the hang of it though. And this time around though, Rainbow Dash, unlike 2013, or no, not 2013 because that was Fluttershy, but in 2014 and 15, look at ourselves. We are now quite big now. Yeah, which is a lot more better than the forms of how it does it in the 2014 and 15 at the same time. Yeah, because I remember that you two were still so small during that time, but it wasn't until in 2016 where basically Rarity and Twilight Sparkle, Pinkie Pie, Starlight Glimmer, are basically in a somewhat of a normal size. Yeah, it's probably true for that regard. So yeah, you probably get the idea for that point. So yeah, we'll probably would do the actual introduction thing for this point, like what we did from the forms of the previous years. But however though, it might actually get a little bit rehashed every single time, so we'll do something a little bit different this time around. So yeah, I think we'll cut straight to the point, Sonic, for specifically for just trying to get started with the next unboxing installment. Yeah, because we have not done a single unboxing video ever since in Super Mario Maker 2, for that regard. Yeah, I think that's probably true, Sonic. So, hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am White Teddy here, and we are from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as to be expected at this point. So, at least to be expected for that particular point and onwards is the fact that, well, we'll talk some more details about the phones at the very end of the unboxing video. And plus, because of how the fact, if you couldn't tell for the actual title description already, I do apologize with the actual uploading schedule ever since the absence of Christmas Day. This is pretty obvious because me and Sonic and Tiana were having to spend most of our time together. Oh, don't forget about me, Mario. Oh, sorry about that, Peach. Because of this, though, we are literally really busy during the events of last night. So that's why we do apologize with the lack of uploading schedules during the forms of Christmas Day and stuff like that, which is a little bit different from the previous years for sure, but I really appreciate it for your patience and all that stuff, because we normally do that for every single year, but there will be an important message to you, or for this fans out there, until the very end of the video. Yeah, which we'll discuss more on that later. So yeah, there's me, White Teddy here, Sonic the Hedgehog here, Mario, Peach, Rainbow Dash, the 20% cooler, and Applejack here, Shadow the Hedgehog, Tiana here, Jewel, Blue here, and Silver the Hedgehog. It's no use! Enough about this, it's no use joke already. Let's just get to the video. Sorry about that. So anyways folks, welcome to our special unboxing video for this point to you guys out there. Welcome to the Christmas 2019 unboxing video special. So yes, like before, we're going to be able to do with what kind of gifts that we got from the unboxing video that we've got for each and every single year. And for those of you probably wondering, how you spend most of your time, have a lovely time at Christmas Day. Well, technically, since for the sake of this video, that's well, hope you guys do enjoy spending most of your time with your family and all that stuff, and also not to mention with gifts that you might actually wish for during the forms of the Christmas list during that time. So, really do appreciate about that stuff. So, let's just get to the unboxing video, shall we, guys? Yeah? Yappity-doo. Yeah, about freaking time. Yeah, no, Shadow. But anyways, though, let's get into the actual video and insert the title card, please. Okay, so let's get started with our 2019 Christmas special for you guys. Now, even though, do you remember the forms of last year, though we've only just got 5 games plus 2 controllers, technically speaking, because of, with the actual Joy-Cons and all that stuff, but, you remember how the fact that last year didn't actually go super great or anything because of our phone storages once again does manage to able to get low on time and stuff like that. Yeah, which this is probably a reason why that we just, I just don't give a damn about. Okay, Shadow, just calm down for a moment. But anyways, though, so for this year's Christmas, we actually got ourselves quite a few items for this point. Like, I think we've got about, not 7, but there's going to be more on their way. But for now, we actually got about 3 games this time around, as opposed to, 5 of them ever since about a year ago, which is kind of odd because even then, once again, just like the forms of how it does in last year, basically there aren't any Nintendo Directs to be signed around here until, the next set of few announcements until 2020. So, and as you can see right there, we've now finally got ourselves the Mario and Sonic game for this year's Christmas, which is good. But that doesn't stop there, however, though. There's that one particular game that we got here, but we'll mention more now into whenever we get to it, don't you think, guys? Yeah, exactly, White Teddy. Yeah, at least you folks, you might as well notice by this point right now. So, yeah, exactly, Joel, exactly. Yeah, anyway, so let's get to it with specifically the PS4 game to start off with, and that is the PS4 compilation game, Disney Classic Games, Aladdin, and The Lion King. I'm really looking forward to able to getting this game though, because I've heard several reviews on this though. It's actually really good compilation game. Not perfect by any means, because there are some missing features on this, which we'll get into that in just a moment, but as you can see on the artwork, even though I do apologize with the actual the angle with the actual camera and all that stuff, or our phone, we should say, because unfortunately we don't have a tripod now. So even then, though, yeah, there's the artwork for Aladdin right here, which is pretty cool, and also the greatest films of all time, the Lion King artwork, which I think that heavily borrowed that in, I would say, a combination of 2003 special edition version as well as the 2011 Diamond edition, I think. So even then, it looks pretty cool. Does say Nighthawk Interactive right here. Peggy 7, to be expected with most compilation games nowadays. There's a spine right here. It's almost like in a purpley, purpley shaped formation. In fact, let me just get this in focus. I know it's been a pain since 2017, but even then, though, because of how the fact that, well, unfortunately for this point and onwards, there we go. That's pretty cool right here. And here's the back of the actual compilation right here. The 16-bit classics return. Play in full 1080p, new features and graphic enhancements. Multiple game versions included. Watch mode so that you can skip to any part of the game, jump in and play. Rewind anytime, very similar to the Disney Afternoon Classics compilation on the PlayStation Network. And so that you can, every time you've made several mistakes on one level, then you can able to rewind back in time, so that way you could able to continue where you left off. So, pretty cool though. Museum mode, peek behind the scenes footage and stuff like that. And there's also soundtrack, listen to all of your favorite music and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So obviously the screenshots right here are actually based off from the Sega Mega Drive version of Aladdin, which I've definitely heard of this before, but I haven't exactly got the original cartridge for it. So, now, I don't know what this version represents for, but I'm pretty sure it's based off from the Super Nintendo version or the Mega Drive version. Even then, though, Sonic, it may look exactly identical between these two versions here. So, but anyways, and as you can see, it says one player here, 1.7 gigabytes minimum, so that's okay, I suppose. And DualShock 4 and remote play for the PlayStation Vita or something like that. HD video output, 720 to 1080p, and all that stuff. And to be expected, it's all in Blu-ray. And Peggy 7 stands for violence. So the only missing aspect with this version compared to the films or this particular compilation, we should say, is the fact that most people seem to be very upsetting with how the fact that, with well, obviously the actual compilation includes such as the forms of the Mega Drive versions of Aladdin and The Lion King, so that's pretty obvious, but that's one thing. But there's also a Super Nintendo version of The Lion King, which we also got that on the one of those compilations, which is good. But usually we got ourselves the Game Boy handheld versions here and there as well. Kind of like how we did on, with the Castlevania Anniversary Collection that we've got in a digital download service or something like that. So, in fact, Sonic, let me just concentrate on this. I know it's been a little bit of a hassle for this point today because, well, at this point in time, we really do apologize for the actual lack of uploads during yesterday because of... Oh, there we go. Sorry, it just took me a lot of time to able to get this open. Even though it kind of reminds me of, in 2015, where I have to open up Hyrule Warriors for the Wii U, but somehow it just never seemed to budge with the actual cellophane and stuff like that, which is kind of a problem, especially noticeable in this game's case right now, that I know it because of how the fact that we don't have the camera tripod or anything like that, so even then I really do miss the actual tripod, Yeah, no, I know you get the horrible feeling about that, White Teddy. Yeah, no, don't feel bad for yourself there. So anyways, let's open this up. Not much content on the left, but we got ourselves the actual game disc here. I'm glad this is actually in a disc form because, well, the problem with digital downloads to me though is that, well, it might be a little bit of a cumbersome. So yeah, really looking forward to able to play this, but at least there is no downloadable requirements on that though. Although the only disappointing thing about that particular compilation to us though is that there's no Super Nintendo version of Aladdin, which that's pretty stinks for most other fans out there. Yeah, especially because of how the fact that they most likely excited for the actual compilation when the Super Nintendo version did manage to come along with it, but unfortunately that is not the case though, sadly. Anyways, the next game here is the moment we've all been waiting for, especially notable how the fact that I was in the film and stuff like that, in addition with Sonic as well. So yes, we now got ourselves the next Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games game. Because we were originally going to get this in day one, but we decided able to save it up for, similar to the likes of back in 2013 and stuff like that. Basically, we always attempt to get the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games around the time for Christmas. So, as you can see right there, I'm not a big fan of this artwork though, even though it might actually get like a big throwback to the original Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, I should say, and as well as the Olympic Winter Games in Vancouver 2010, because it only just features, us two here. Yeah, I can totally understand that because, well, usually, luckily for Japan though, they got very, very good artwork. Like, it gets like the whole cast of characters surrounding in that specific stuff. And also the actual title might be confusing for some people because it's the exact same title as the original on the Nintendo Wii and Nintendo DS. But it turns out, if we're able to look on the spine here, it does say Tokyo 2020, so just in case anyone doesn't get confused by this. So yeah, because it's one to point things out. So this is the Nintendo Switch exclusive. Yeah, just like the forms of how it does in Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter Games, that basically it's, exclusive to the consoles installment. No 3DS equivalent or anything like that. And once again, much like Rio 2016, it does manage to show us Peggy 7. Because originally it was supposed to have Peggy 3 on here, but turns out it was only Peggy 7 instead. Because I think the reason being for that is because we'll get to that in just a moment. So here's SEGA right here. I'm glad that SEGA is now going to be developing onto the Olympic Games series again. Because compared to Sochi 2014 and Rio 2016, it's been developed by Nintendo itself. So anyways though, so here's the spine here. SEGA one here. And here's the back. So let's see what we got here. So compete in a world's greatest party or sports party, as far as I like to call it that. And again, I do apologize with the actual recording setup, and I'll now just see that for the better view. Compete in a world's greatest sports party. Team up with your favorite characters and go for gold in action-packed events in 2 different eras, such as like the 3D version and a 2D version, which means it's like 3D version is basically the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and 2D represents Tokyo 1964, which I can't believe it's been about, a few years since we actually noticing this. 30 plus events to master, including new Olympic sports such as sports climbing, surfing, skateboarding, and some party time enjoy multi-game modes, motion, and button controls, local and online play, which, yes, ever since in Sochi 2014, Olympic Winter Games, they managed to bring back, the online features and stuff like that. But luckily, though, unlike Sochi 2014, where it only has like 4 playable events, in Tokyo 2020, I'm happy to say is that every single event, well, apart from Tokyo 1964 version, but to be more specifically though, the Tokyo 2020 events, as far as you like to say, they're now being all playable in online play. That's how it should be done in Sochi 2014. At least I have to admit though right away. And also, that we finally got ourselves the motion controls being returned ever since during, Sochi 2014, because despite with, Rio 2016 doesn't have any of these motion controls at all, which make find it a little bit, cumbersome whenever you're trying to deal with button mashing kind of events like this. But anyway, as you see that right there, we got ourselves Dream Events, which I'm very glad Dream Events now finally makes its return, ever since in Sochi 2014, despite there were only 3 of them, but we'll get to that into whenever we do our Let's Play of this game until the same day as when the opening ceremony for Tokyo 2020 is happening. So, and also you got story mode right here, and also mini games in here and there, and we got players 1 through 4 for TV play, and tabletop mode on the same thing, and handheld play for just only for 1 player. Pro controller is compatible, which is good news because even then, though, that way we can able to enjoy the game a bit more. And also, the Nintendo Switch Online membership service is required to play the actual online experience, but hopefully we can get that until whenever we get that next year or something like that. So yeah, Peggy 7 stands for violence. I think it's pretty obvious because of the boxing match, or in this case, karate events is actually in there. So yeah, that's about it basically. So even then, I'm really looking forward to able to dive into this game right now, because even then though, that again, we were supposed to get this in day 1, so that way we can able to experience the game for ourselves. But we did try the demo of this during not too long ago, and for our first experience on this, is actually pretty good. But, however though, I'm not a big fan of motion controls because they did seem to screw it up again since Sochi 2014. So, anyway, not much included in here though, apart from the game card itself. So, yeah, pretty cool though, even though it does remind me of, back in the old days from, from Beijing 2008, from, Nintendo DS and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. And now let's move on to the obscure game on the forms of, well, before we do that, we're actually going to be presented to you by the forms of the new handhelds that we've got for this year's Christmas. So here we go. The Neo Geo Pocket Color Amphilytics, which I don't know exactly how to pronounce that very well for that specific edition right here. So yeah, the reason why we managed to got this is because when I've looked upon that one particular game I was really looking forward to trying out, and that is, speaking of which, Sonic Pocket Adventure, which I don't know if anyone else seems to talk about this all that much, but then again, we'll get to that until any second. Yeah, Blue, can you hold that for me? Oh yeah, of course. So yes, the reason why we managed to able to get this handheld, sorry for the actual interruptions there, Mario. Yeah, that's fine, White Teddy, you can take over. So anyways, the reason why we managed to get this is because we haven't got the single new handheld console ever since the, I would say the 3DS, the new 3DS XL, I should say. So we thought to ourselves, yeah, we might as well give this handheld a shot. So even then though, although usually despite the fact that I'm pretty sure that it feels like exactly, oh, I don't know how to explain this. So even then though, I think this might be the only SNK console that we've actually got so far. So even then, and once again, I have to apologize to able to lift this up. Sorry for a little bit of shakiness. Tri-Portable New Dimension, The World of Neo Geo. Stands for Neo Geo Pocket Color, and I do apologize with the actual blocking camera eyes and stuff. So anyways, here's the actual box itself. Even though it's basically used, because as you can tell, that the box itself might be a little bit creased around here. But it doesn't really bother to me though, because even then we're really looking forward to trying this new handheld out. So here's the back right here. Once again, I have to lift this up. So, and then again, because we don't have the phone tripod or anything. So, color, that's right. The World of Neo Geo displays up to 4,696 colors with a simultaneous display of 146 colors. 40 hours of continuous play, easy on the eyes LCD screen, reveling joystick, and built-in functions available in the main unit only. So, batteries included, but sadly though, since this is all used and everything, we don't have the batteries. But good thing about this is that we got some spare batteries on our own time, so even then we'll do that after this video has been done. So anyways, let's go ahead and open this up. Do it very carefully, so just in case we don't damage the whole entire box. So, not much in here though, and there's no instructions in here sadly, apart from just, cardboard box. So we'll put that to the side. And as you can tell, kindly enough though, is the fact that it gives us the bubble wrap to seal from. So yeah, it's pretty cool though. So anyways, let's get this out on the actual packaging. do apologize with the actual awkward setup for this point, guys, because, well, we just want to cut straight to the point. So, anyways, though, so let's go ahead and open that up from the bottom. And voila! Wait a minute. I just realized something. Oh, what is it, Mario? We realized is that this is the wrong color from the actual packaging. Don't worry, Mario. It functions the same thing, so even then, though, we got ourselves stone blue instead. Which I'm fine with, because blue is our, well, our favorite color, obviously. And it's also the exact same color as in, well, for both you, Blue, and Jewel has got themselves blue feathers and all that stuff, which is kind of funny. But anyways, here's the actual Neo Geo Pocket Color itself. So this looks pretty cool. Got the A and B buttons on the side, as well as the option button. And also you got the power button here, despite the batteries is not in. And we got ourselves a very, very cool joystick. And it feels very, very clickly. Because I think that's what the main aspect of SNK back in the day, is that they got ourselves a very, very cool clicky joystick, which is really, really cool. Because even then, that's what it usually calls it so revolutionary. The back here, well, basically it gets like a cartridge slot, and there's the battery door here, but to be expected, we don't have any of them. So, but don't worry though, we'll do those in our own time, so even then we can able to do that. So yeah, that's the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Really glad to have this. And speaking of which, let's go and open up the Sonic Pocket Adventure for the actual system itself, the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Yeah, because, you know, we actually decided able to get this to top it off as well for our list. So, yeah, kind of thing about it though is the fact that the actual artwork for Sonic is actually almost inspired by Sonic Adventure almost. But, obviously they just managed to flip it over to the other side. So even then though, it makes it a little bit obvious for that point. Because I think this game came out after Sonic Adventure has been released for the Dreamcast. So even then though, to be expected at this point. And yes, much like before, I think the actual condition on this is basically used, so don't worry though, things doesn't get too much harm on this though, so even then I was want to classify that. So it says here, Neo Geo Pocket Software Cartridge here, Sonic Pocket Adventure, and the logo itself, and it does says on here, there's actually 60 mix, which I don't know what that represents for, color, because much like the Game Boy Color, that you can't play Game Boy Color games on the original Game Boy, and that could be same applies for this, because if you play this on the normal Neo Geo Pocket system, this will not be playable unless if you purchase the, you know, quote-unquote, the color version of its, the system. So yeah, I really love the artwork so far, and here's the actual spine here that says the title of the game, as well as the rendition of Sonic, such as myself. And here's the back here. So, the action game at the speed of sound here on Neo Geo Pocket Color. Sonic takes off to save his forest friends from the evil Dr. Robotnik, even though that clearly at this point the Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik got his new outfit since Sonic Adventure. So, in fact, we might actually do a Let's Play of this game at some point at the very end of the year. That'll be the final Let's Play we're going to be doing for 2019. So I'll let Sonic Wable to cover for that, because this game is now 20 years old right now. So even then I just want to classify that. So he jumps, he dashes, he spins, Sonic's unstoppable, which is obvious. Completes the puzzle with the photo piece panels. What is it? Well, we'll never know. Plug in the link cable for two-player versus battles with your buddy. So even then, I think this is the only cases where you're able to play as Tails in that game. So, and what's cool about this is that this is the UK version of this packaging. We got ourselves the plastic case as opposed to the cardboard box that you get from the American version. So let's open this up, and it does have this little tab thing right here. So just in case it gets secured, which is pretty cool. So in this case, we're going to have a look at this manual here. So it's all pretty thin and all that stuff. I was expecting it's going to be, oh, it's color. I'm quite shocked about this. It's actually all in color. I know it's generally the SEGA game, but thankfully though, the SNK managed to get ourselves a partnership from SEGA back in the day. But I think this is the only time they actually just managed to do this. So pretty cool though, as well as the health and safety precautions, but it's all Japanese text, so let's not read through that stuff. And here's the actual cartridge itself on, you know, the Neo Geo Pocket Color. And what's cool about this is that unlike the, it's kind of like the same thing for Game Boy Advance as well. Don't forget Sonic. Oh, right, exactly. There you go, so there's a protective casing here. So let's get this out. In fact, kind of thinking about it though, these cartridges almost reminds me of the Game Gear cartridges, except these ones are a lot smaller than the likes of the Game Gear ones. But hey, this is pretty cool though, even though the label itself does attempt to worn out for a bit. But still works though, even though we actually did manage to demonstrate that. But even then, we'll might as well find out into our own for ourselves for that time. So. Yeah, definitely can't wait to be able to play it in our own time, and especially noticeable we can do a Let's Play of this until, later on at the end of the year. So yeah, that's that. Okay, jump code right there, folks, because I need to get the actual better lighting from here, so even then, at least to be expected, we managed to sort that out. So, anyways, so next up in our item Christmas list for this year's Christmas, and that is going to be a first big item, but before we do that, we got ourselves the mini AV2 HDMI upscaler to 1080p. The reason why we managed to got this though is because we actually still got ourselves some of these retro consoles such as Nintendo 64, Xbox the original, Mega Drive Model 1, Sega Saturn, and also Nintendo Gamecube and PlayStation 2 and etc. And also the Dreamcast as well. Now, we figure we might actually get this, just for the sake of clarity, because I've looked up on several YouTube videos about this, and they seem to able to recognize this particular device that allows you to capture footage with this on the actual Roxo Game Capture HD Pro and stuff like that, which I think is actually pretty cool. So I might as well able to give this a go. So even then, though, that will able to open up very quickly before we get on to the first major big thing for the actual the list for this year. So even then, I will open this just like so. And usually we get ourselves in here. We got just the USB connector. I think we might actually use that for our laptop. And also we got ourselves apart from those little addresses, including the barcode or QR code, as far as I meant to say. So we'll put that to the side. And here's the AV converter to the HDMI. So, pretty cool though. And we choose the white version because I have no idea why we managed to choose the white one. I think it just makes it a little bit nicer. Just like in our DSi when we used to have it. But now we got ourselves a DSi XL just to make things a little bit comfortable for our fingers and stuff. There's also switches between 720p to 1080p. So if you want to do that, then more power to you. The USB port's right here. The AV port's around here. Not much on that side, but we got the HDMI output. So, pretty cool though. Pretty cool item to have. And, we might actually go and say this right now. We figure we might as well do the Dreamcast set of Let's Plays. Like, specifically, Sonic Shuffle, that's one of them. And maybe Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast. Despite we've already done the redo Let's Plays of, Sonic Adventure DX and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle Let's Play before, but even then, we're going to count that as in the direct ports or something like that. So, yeah, that's pretty cool there. And also, same applies for some Nintendo 64 redo Let's Plays, like the Mario Party trilogy. Yeah, so that way that we can able to let Duffy do Mario Party 1 again, and Sylvester can do Mario Party 2 again, and eventually, for me, I'm going to be able to do Mario Party 3 again, because that particular Let's Play is now being gone and all, just because hopefully we can able to improve the quality of that. So yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next big thing, or the first big thing that we've got for this year, and that is, another console mini. Because you remember back in 2017, we got ourselves the Super Nintendo Classic Mini, but now in 2019, we've now got ourselves the Sega Mega Drive Classic Mini, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it includes Sonic the Hedgehog on here, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Because the reason why we attempt to skip over the previous console mini from last year, which is known as the PlayStation Mini, to be honest with you, I just think that the game selection on the PlayStation Mini is pretty lame. Well, apart from quite a few games that it usually includes, like Metal Gear Solid and Rayman and all that stuff, and I think that's about it when we think of. So, here's the actual box itself. Once again, like the Super Nintendo Mini, it looks very recognizable because it's all in a retro look. and it does manage to contain like 2 controllers, much like the SNES Mini. So that's pretty cool stuff. And conveniently enough, this is the the only console mini to able to feature the largest amount of games at the moment, such as 40 classic games and 2 bonus titles here and there as well. Like 2 of them have not been released outside of everywhere else, so we might as well check that as soon as we're able to have a look on the box itself. I think it's pretty big in comparison to the forms of the Super Nintendo Mini, which I think is pretty obvious because it contains like 2 controllers and everything. So here's the actual back of it, and it tells you what games they are actually included. And there are 40 of them, as we said before, plus 2 bonus ones, which will go down and line up for a moment. So here we have right here, even though I do apologize for the actual blocking view for our camera. So here's Alex Kidd in Enchanted Castle, Ulstra Dragoon, Altered Beast, Story of Thor, aka Beyond Oasis, for those of you who played the American version, Cause of Evolution starring Mickey Mouse, which is a great choice, Predator, aka Contra Hard Corps for the Genesis, and Cosmic Zone, and Columns, and Castlevania The New Generation. Well, so we did already got this on the anniversary collection for the Castlevania series, even then it calls it Bloodlines just to make it a little bit obvious. So, Streets of Rage 2, everyone's favorite installment of the Streets of Rage series, and also World Evolution starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master. It's a shame they don't include the Revenge of Shinobi, because Revenge of Shinobi was actually one of the best entries on the Mega Drive games as far as I'm aware. Also, we got Dynamite Heady, Earthworm Jim, Echo the Dolphin, Internal Champions, Ghouls and Ghosts, Golden Axe the Original, Gunstar Heroes, Kid Chameleon, Landstalker, Light Crusader, Mega Man The Wily Wars, which originally, since we already done the Mega Man Marathon since about a year ago, we figured we might as well able to actually do a Let's Play of this and doing it at some point next year, which I want to point things out right away. Monster World 4, Phantasy Star 4, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which, by the way, if you ever play the Japanese version of the Mega Drive Mini, it actually gets replaced by Puyo Puyo, so I just wanted to point things out. Road Rash 2, Shining Force, and let's not forget ourselves the Sonic the Hedgehog games. Sadly, there's only 3 of them, so that's fine by me. So we got Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog, let's not forget about that. Everyone's fan favorite, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Space Harrier 2, and Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. Strider, and Super Fantasy Zone. Thunder Force 3, 2 Jam and Ellie, and Vectorman. Virtual Fighter 2, in this case one of the weakest version of Virtual Fighter 2, because some people prefer the Saturn version of this. And we also got ourselves Wonder Boy in Monster World. In addition with those games, we also have 2 bonus games that just never saw the light of day, but now they re-released those, as in the actual console mini itself. So we got Dadius and Tetris. So pretty cool though. So even then though, we'll just have to able to just cope with the actual game selections as far as I'm mostly concerned. So anyways, enough about the explanation. So let's just open this little console mini itself. I'm really looking forward to able to try this out because out of all the actual games we have not got in the actual original cartridge form, and that is of course Mega Man The Wily Wars, because Mega Man The Wily Wars was actually pretty expensive back then, probably because it's on a SEGA product or anything like that. So here's the actual, I think this is the USB cable kind of thing about it, so let's not show that off because it usually comes with every single part of this Journey forms off in every single console minis for these days. And I think in this little tiny box, this is where the actual console was actually hidden in. So we'll save that up until later. So we'll put that to the side here. And if we get these 2 out, well, apart from the actual, another cord, such as, well, another set of HDMIs. So, to be expected from most other systems like this. So, and I think this is where we got ourselves the controllers out. So we'll just, put that box away. And you notice on the actual background that we might actually consider able to, you know, just trying to get ourselves this out, because much like the Super Nintendo Mini, we figured we might as well able to use this, because much like any other console minis out there, they don't have the actual the AC plug with it. So it's kind of a shame, but hey, at least I want to point that out. So, alright, so we're gonna most likely show off one controller for this, because we're gonna save that one to sealed, just like in the Super Nintendo Classic Mini. So here's the actual Mega Drive controller here, out of its bubble wrap, or shrink wrap I should say. Looks pretty cool actually, even though it feels almost identical to the likes of the original controller that we had since Journey Forms of 2012 or something. So, unfortunately though, for Power Regions, as well as the American version, they only have like 3 buttons to your disposal, which unlike the Japanese version, you get those like specifically 6 buttons. So, yeah, I think that's pretty obvious for their major differences here. So, yeah, that's the controller right here. And also, let's not forget to grab the other one. So, we'll put that to the side. So anyways, let's open up the actual main part of the system itself. I think it's always in the underneath of this box here. So, no idea how this will turn out. But, there we go. We actually did open up just like so. And look at that. Even though we do need to get out of this wrapping though first, so even then it's pretty easy to do so. Gotta think about it, it's actually a lot smaller than the likes of how it does it on our Mega Drive 1. So, don't know why this contains like this little thing itself here, but just in case for protection. So, look at that. It looks a lot cuter than I was expecting. So, obviously, you can still interact with all sorts of stuff, like the Mega Drive Model 1 did, like the volume slider, but does not interact with volumes somehow. And also we got the reset button, which is now clickable, and also the actual power switch itself. So, pretty cool though. And unlike the NES Classic Mini, as well as the Super Nintendo Classic Mini, is that you get yourselves a cartridge flap on here. So, and what you can do with it is that back then, you can able to actually insert the Sega Mega Drive 32X onto the actual attachment. So, pretty cool though. And it's the headphone socket on here, but it's now stilted, because as you can see on this little thing here, it does not function. So, and also we got these 2 USB ports, stands for the controllers themselves. And in the back, it shows us HDMI out and DC in. So, yeah, that's about it basically. So even then though, we're looking forward to able to play this particular mini console, especially we can now finally deal with our Let's Play in the future, in 2020, specifically doing the Let's Play of Mega Man The Wily Wars, because if you know that game, basically, oh yeah, I forgot about this part right here, I just want to point things out. Even though it's a little bit tough to do this though, because we did done this originally on our Mega Drive 1, but basically we got ourselves the actual door representing the actual Sega CD, so, or Mega CD as what's known for, you know, Power Regions and stuff. So, pretty cool though, even though I couldn't be bothered to open that up though, sadly, because it's pretty stiff. So, but that doesn't stop there, however though, guys. What is it so far? There's going to be some more items on their way, so I'll meet you guys back. So I'll use my psychokinesis so I can able to grab, I would say, the final 3 items for sure. See, I think that's as far as we can go for this point when it comes to present progressions. Sorry about that, fellas. What's the matter, still there? Well, turns out I was supposed to be able to bring up 3 presents to you guys, but turns out we got 2 so far. Oh, why is that exactly? Well, good news is that these 2 presents have already arrived. Bad news is that the 3rd and final one, I don't know, it's hard to explain about this sometimes. Well, kudos to that so far, because we're just about to get started until now. Yeah, so anyways, we got 2 more presents left, such as 1 new DVD, which is Big Hero 6, and the final thing, since, after all, behind me, I managed to bring the Gamecube with me, because we'll discuss on that later. So first off we have is, of course, Big Hero 6, or next up I should say, Big Hero 6. Because the reason why we got this is because there's a world from Kingdom Hearts 3 so far, that despite that game has already been out for about a year now, that this is one of those worlds they featured in Kingdom Hearts 3, spoiler warning. And we figured we might as well able to get this film throughout. So even then, winner, Academy Award, Best Animated Film, and Best Animated Short, Feast 2014. So as you can see on top, it says Disney's 53rd Animated Classic, so I just want to let you guys know that. And we're probably not going to read the text or anything like that, because some of these texts have been pretty small, and plus if you've seen the film already, which I think that film came out not too well ago actually. I think it did came out since 2014, or in the UK country anyway. It did came out in 2015 instead, because of just like, you know, Wreck-It Ralph or anything, that we always have to wait until a year later, I suppose. There's a slipcover right here, so in case of you guys already know this, even though it doesn't share the exact same artwork, so even now we got a different artwork actually, so kudos to that, I suppose. So yeah, as far as whenever we see this film actually, after rewatching this, because we did manage to borrow Stuart's copy of the film, and I'm gonna say that out of all the actual modern Disney films that we've seen, after seeing Frozen 2, which is the most recent film that's been came out, I think, similarly to say, sadly I have to tell you for this point guys, but this is actually our second least favorite modern Disney film to be came out during the entire decade. Of course, my least favorite one is obviously Winnie the Pooh 2011 version, because I don't know why we're truly saying that, right? So here's the leaflet about all these Disney magic and stuff like that, which we've seen as plenty of times, and we got the artwork right here. So yeah, that's that for Big Hero 6. Even then, we've finally managed able to got this to our collection, because we didn't get it day one at first because of, well, to be more specifically, Rainbow Dash is probably because we haven't gotten used to it at first. Yeah, especially because that, well, I just don't know the film all that well. But hey, regardless of everything else, guys, it's that we did manage able to got Kingdom Hearts 3 World, that world is based on, so... Anyways, now move on to the final item for this year's Christmas, and that appears to be this wrapped up bubble wrap. And if you can see on the box, as you can see, we have, well, supposed to open this up, and it's a good thing too that we actually going to be doing this in a different perspective as opposed to other perspectives on that table. As you can see on the box, we got a Game Boy player for the Gamecube. Yeah, that's the perfect example that we actually just managed to able to get ourselves our Gamecube out. So as you can see right there, it was all in box and everything, but extremely to tell you for this point, guys, it's pretty much in used condition. So even then, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to say the least. Hold on just a moment. Okay, jump cut right there, because I'm gonna have to utilize the bubble wrap for a moment. So yeah, we pretty much guarantee we can able to get rid of that. So here it is. Here's the actual box itself. Obviously, it's in used condition, as you can see right there, because of there are some bumps, marks everywhere. But apart from that, though, I think from what I've heard, it's actually very good condition. So even then, can't wait to see how this all turns out. The Game Boy player marks your favorite Game Boy titles hit the big screen. Play more than 1,000 games designed for the original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance handheld game systems. Control gameplay with the GameCube, Nintendo GameCube controller, or plug in the Nintendo GameCube Game Boy Advance cable. So there's like two different methods for doing this, and there's also they can able to change your different frames depending on what games you'll be playing on. So even then though, that's actually pretty cool. Then again, we can't be bothered to read all these kinds of stuff like this, because we've seen you guys should already know about any other unboxing videos for this point. So even then though, let's get this main treatment out, which appears to be the Game Boy Player software, as you can see right there. And it's important to note that obviously we do need to acquire this to able to play the Game Boy Player, because if we don't, well, obviously you probably won't able to access to it. So let's see how the disc actually looks like. It's all pretty good condition, so we can definitely can't wait to give that a try on our own time. Especially that, you know, with the actual AV to HDMI converter, we can eventually might actually do some more Game Boy Let's Plays in the future. So even then, I'm very glad that I managed to got this. But that doesn't end off here, White Teddy, because let's get out of this unit itself. For the actual Game Boy player, I don't think there's anything else in here besides the actual health and safety precautions, but let's not read on that too much. So yeah, here's the actual unit itself. I have to say, it looks slightly heavy from the looks of it though. So even then though, that we, I think that Stuart managed to still got this back in 2012. So I must admit though, it has been 7 years since we had it. So either way, here's the actual unit itself. This is where you're able to connect. If I can bring the Gamecube right here, that as you can see we still got the purple color, then you notice there's actually a connector is in this one, I believe. There we go. And that way you can able to connect it, that particular cord to here. So even then I will demonstrate that later. So as you can see right there, there's some screws over there, so that way we can able to touch to the actual thing. And then in front it says Game Boy Player, and the extension lead, and also some Game Boy Advance slots and all that stuff. Or to be more accurate, White Teddy, is actually the Game Boy slots. Oh yeah, I see what you mean, Sonic. I can definitely see what you mean. So anyways, this normally plugs on top of here, so hopefully we could able to press it downwards. And here, this is where we can able to screw the actual bolts in here. So even then though, I think we'll do this in our own time so that we can able to figure this out. And look at that. This appears to be much more taller than we used to be. So yeah, it's pretty cool though. And we'll put that somewhere safe around here, so just in case if we moved house or something again, then we could expect it able to noticing that. So yeah, that's the Game Boy Player. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And we'll show you guys what the actual final results for our Christmas gifts so far for this year. So there you have it, folks. There's the forms of the Christmas presents for Christmas 2019. So again, not much by comparison, but at least we got some of these familiar items ever since then. So here it is right here, just to have a recap. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to able to actually trying out the Game Boy Player for ourselves. Yeah, I know, Blue. Especially that we've been waiting for that for so long, accordingly. So yes, thank you so much guys for watching for our Christmas 2019 unboxing special. So this is Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog, Silver the Hedgehog, aka the Sonic 06 selections of hedgehogs, Rainbow Dash here, and Applejack here. Tiana, that I'm finally now managed to make it to the video, Mario, Peach, Jewel, and Blue. So I hope you guys do enjoy it, and White Teddy, what's the matter? I forgot to tell you guys something about this. Oh, I thought we were going to be able to do every single Christmas unboxing videos like we've already done these loads of times already. It turns out, guys, that until in 2020, something bad happened. What happened now? I think I went to the doctors this morning, and what did I say? My heart condition was actually going to go weak. What do you mean? Yeah, tell us why. I might actually die until the final Christmas until next year.